Go.
Hi, Matthew. My name's Alan. I'm one of the service technicians here at Vision RV. Thanks for purchasing a unit from us. I'm going to give a little orientation on the outside of the unit, where things are and what they do. Then we'll go inside. I'll give you a little orientation to familiarize you with what's in there. You're going to have all this on video so you can review it when you want to. But I'll tell you right now that if you're having any questions about your unit, other RVers, other campers are the best, most reliable source of information and advice that you can get. Then come talk to us. And then last of all, you might want to search Google for something, but you got to really be careful about what's good and what's not good on Google. But other RVers can help you remember how to run your appliances and systems. You can always call us. We can get a technician on the phone, walk you through something. And then, like I said, Google is another source of information. So we're going to start at the nose of your unit on the outside. We'll walk around the outside, and then we'll take the show inside, all right? Okay, Matt. Pin box on the front of your unit. Nice thing about the pin box on this unit here is that it's quite a ways forward. So when you are hooked up to your truck, you don't have a whole lot of nose swing. When you turn your vehicle sharp 90-degree turns, you will want to watch the nose of this and make sure that it doesn't make contact with the cab of your truck. But because your pin box is so far forward, you have a lot less nose swing than most other units, okay? Attached on this pin box is also the emergency breakaway switch. This has to be connected by this cable to your vehicle so that if the trailer ever becomes detached from your tow vehicle, this cable will pull this plunger out of here and activate the brakes on your trailer to keep it from running away down the road. Also tucked up in here is your 7-way power cord. We tuck them up in here to keep them safe so they don't get dragging in the dirt and stuff like that. Okay. So this is your 7-way power cord. This will plug into your vehicle. When you're plugged into your vehicle alternator and your electrical system will send a 12-volt voltage back to the batteries to maintain the surface charge on your batteries so that you can run your brakes and your lights. Charging the batteries in this unit by plugging it into your vehicle, it's not going to work. They're different systems, and you would have to drive like non-stop from Edmonton to Winnipeg in order to charge the batteries in your unit using the alternator in your car. So plugging this in provides power to the batteries so you can run your lights and your brakes, but this is not the ideal way to charge your batteries. Plugging your unit into shore power is the best way to charge your batteries. We'll tuck this back up here. All right. Front storage compartment, Matthew. Big storage compartment up here. You got 2 great big batteries piled up in front, okay? On the back wall, these are self-resetting circuit breakers that control the 12-volt power going into your trailer. So if you've got no power going into your trailer, come out here and check these breakers. They can fail. These ones are in good condition, but they can fail after time. These are self-resetting, so if they do trip, you got to wait about 5 minutes and then they'll set themselves again. This is the control board for your leveling in your slide rooms. So please make sure that when you're putting stuff in this front compartment, not to be bashing or banging stuff into this control module. It's critical for running all your slides and your leveling system, okay? The floor of this one is plastic. No, it's metal. Okay, it's metal. So these are good for about 200 pounds. So you can put a fair amount in this front storage compartment, but you do have to watch for the components and your batteries, okay? All right. On the front of your unit, this is your landing gear. That's for these 2 front legs, extend and retract. This switch here is for the docking lights. This is the lights that are on the nose of your unit, okay? All right. Coming around the passenger side, you got one 30-pound propane bottle on this side and another one on the other side. Used trailers don't get new bottles, unfortunately, but they are in good condition. They've been recertified by Apollo Propane, who fills our tanks, and they are full, okay? So you got 2 full 30-pounder propane bottles on your unit ready for you to use. Oh, there's a regulator right there, but that's a secondary regulator. The primary regulator for these 2 bottles is on the passenger side. Let's go over there and show you that. So here's the passenger side bottle, and there's the regulator right there. That's how you change bottles. Right now, the arrow is pointing at this tank and this hose, so it's pulling off of this bottle. When this bottle goes empty, shut it off, flip this valve over that way, and now it'll be pulling propane off the other bottle. The reason the bar is red right now is because your propane tanks are closed, so there's no propane in the system. Okay, as we move along, Matt, we've got in this pass-through compartment is your starter kit for your unit. There's 2 important things in here. One of them is this. This is a water pressure regulator. I'll show you where that needs to go in a minute. The other thing is the adapter for your shore cord so that you can adapt it from a 30 amp plug configuration down to a 15 amp so you can plug it into a receptacle at your house or in your garage. The only thing about using this to power your trailer up is you need 30 amps of power to run your air conditioner. So if this is the only power source you've got for your trailer, you can charge your batteries, run your fridge, run all the lights. You can run everything in your unit, but you won't be able to run the air conditioner because you need 30 amps of power to run the AC, okay? Starter kit for you here. Snap hook, this is for the emergency breakaway cable. And you don't need this because this is for a tow behind trailer, not for a 5th wheel. So I'll take that back. Okay, nothing hidden behind the door. So right here we have the city water connection. This is a feature that's on newer trailers here now where you hook a garden hose up to this and you're supplying the water and the water pressure for your unit through that garden hose. This is where that water pressure regulator, that needs to go on here. The reason you need it on here is because that regulator will regulate the water pressure going into your trailer to 45 PSI. Your water pump, your demand pump, pressurizes your water system at 55 PSI, and all the shower heads and all the taps and everything work good at that water pressure. If you were to put more than 55 or 60 PSI into your trailer, you could cause the shower head and the taps at the sinks and stuff to fail because of too much pressure. That's why we insist that you use that water pressure regulator when you're using the city water hookup to regulate the water pressure to 45 PSI so that it won't damage any of your taps and faucets in your unit, okay? This is a really good feature. A lot of people love this feature because they don't need to use the water in their holding tank and they don't have to run their pump, so you don't hear the pump running. But every once in a while, it's a good idea to disconnect this city water connection, draw water out of your holding tank with your water pump, and listen to your water pump so that you can tell if you've developed any water leaks in your trailer. Because if there's any water leaks in your trailer, your water pump, you'll hear your water pump running as it tries to maintain the water pressure, okay? So that's one way for you to check your water system. Don't forget to put the water pressure regulator on here if you're going to use the city water connection, okay? Moving on, dump station. Down here is your primary dump station. You've only got one on this unit. This big valve here, the black 3-inch, this is your shit tank. This is your black tank. This one over here, this is the gray tanks for your kitchen sink and your shower and stuff like that, okay? Hook your dump hose up here first, and then open up and dump your black tank first. After the black tank is empty, close the valve, and then open up the gray tank valve and drain the gray tank valve and use that gray water to rinse some of the poo and the toilet paper out of your dump hose. Then you can close this off again, disconnect your hoses, rinse them out and put them away, and your holding tanks will be empty and you'll be ready for the next adventure. Slide outs. I don't know if you've ever had slide outs in a trailer before. They add an awful lot of square footage to the space inside your trailer, but there are some things you need to be considering. These sweep seals on the side of your unit, these can dry out and they'll crack over time. So you need to rejuvenate them every once in a while. There's a product that most dealerships, almost all of them will have, called Seal Saver. It's a spray foam that you spray on the rubbers, not just the side ones. Don't forget the top one across the roof too. You spray it on the rubbers and let the rubber suck up the moisture it needs to rejuvenate itself. Keeping these pliable will make sure that they do their job and stay in contact with the slide box when it's going in and out to keep dust and dirt and water and stuff out of your unit. The top of your slide box is also very important. Every time you bring this slide in, every time you close the unit up and bring the slide in, you need to check the top of that box to make sure there's nothing like a tree branch or pine cones or anything large like that on there that will do damage if you were to close the slide up with that kind of garbage or debris on the roof of your slide, okay? So you need to get up there and clean it off before you close the slide out. One of the things you can do is you can purchase a slide topper or an awning topper. It's a small awning that automatically deploys with the slide when it goes out and in. They're not cheap, buddy. This one would probably cost you about $1,000 installed. But the nice thing about it is it keeps all the snow, the dirt, pine cones, tree branches, pine needles. It keeps all of that debris and shit off the top of the slide of your box. Gives you some peace of mind knowing that you don't have to go up there and sweep it clean every time you bring your slide in. Keeps the rain, the snow, the ice off the top of the box as well. Plus, if you do lay out the money to install one, it will help you with trade-in value and resale value to have one on there. So consider it for the future, putting a slide topper on top of that slide. It'll take a lot of grief off of your mind. Okay, coming around the unit to the back of the unit. Inside this little box here is a switch, and this is for the stabilizing jacks on the back of your unit. Down here, you can just see them right there on the back of the unit, okay? So this button here will help you to extend, to lower, and then raise those stabilizing jacks. Okay, close that up. Here you've got some hookups for satellite and cable TV. If the campground you're at has satellite and cable available on a post, maybe at the campground, you just need a 10 or 15 foot chunk of coax TV cable. You plug it into the pole at the campground and then plug it into here or here. This is for satellite, these are for cable. Plug it in there and then you'll have, that one's for data. That one's for cable, and this one will be for satellite, okay? If you want to bring that kind of stuff into your unit, it's there. This is where your shore cord gets stashed. There's about 25 feet of cable on here, and it will all coil up and go into that holding compartment when you're packing up and ready to go. And then this flap comes down and just snaps into place to keep rain and dirt and shit out of that cavity. Ladder. This is how you're going to get up on the roof of your unit to check the top of that slide box to make sure that it's clean before you bring it in. This is also how you're going to be able to get up on the roof and check all of the sealant around all the openings and the penetrations in your roof. They're all good right now. We've inspected it, but at least once a year you should go up there and inspect them, looking for cracks or pinholes or anything that could let water get through, okay? They are in good condition right now, so it's just a matter of checking them once or twice a season. The minute you see any cracking or any holes opening up, get it closed up and sealed as quickly as you can. At the same time, you should be going around your unit and checking these 4 corner molds here. Check this side and this side, looking for any separation in the sealant there. Your trailer needs to move. It needs to move and shift around as you're going down the road. If it didn't, it would tear itself apart inside. So the trailer has to move. In order for that, sometimes after a while, these seals can separate and open up, okay? So you need to inspect them a couple times a year. Make sure you apply a good sealant to it, anything but silicone. The RV industry, we use a product called ProFlex. It's a silicone sealant. Well, it's not really a silicone because it gets a skin on the outside, but it stays soft in the inside so that it can stretch and flex with your trailer to keep the water out of your unit, but still allow it to move, okay? This is also another important one. This line right here, that's the floor of your unit. So inspect this sealant as well. And if you see any cracks or any openings, get it sealed up quickly. Water is the worst thing in the world for an RV. So keeping all of these seals sealed up nice doesn't allow any water to get into your unit. It'll last you a whole lot longer, okay? Now, on the front of the unit, RVs are built for fun and good times, but there are some hazards that I want to point out to you. I need you to be aware of them so you don't hurt yourself. This is one of them right here. Steps and stairs. These things can hurt you if you're not watching yourself. First of all, closing up the step like this, okay, bang, pinch point. I just broke my thumb doing that. There's pinch points on the sides here, pinch points in here, so be very careful when you're closing and opening the steps. Always stand off to the side and always go in with your palm up. If you were to go in this way to open the steps, you get it open and then something happens, I'm stuck in here, I can't get my hand out. If you go in this way and something happens, you can let go and get away, out of the way. Also, this bottom step, as you see, sometimes it'll want to come out all on its own. That's why I stand off to the side. I was standing here one time, that step came down, caught me in the shin, and I cried like a 4-year-old for about an hour, so I don't do that anymore. Stay to the side. Steps can hurt you. Please be careful. When the steps are put up in their carriage, they should stay there, but they can bounce out. You don't want that to happen because Department of Transportation will give you a pretty nasty ticket for having an unsecured load. So, there's a spreader bar on the top right here, and then there's another spreader bar on the bottom right here. If you get a 10-inch bungee cord, you can hook it on there, stretch it down here, hook it on here, and then that bungee cord will keep your steps from bouncing out accidentally, okay? The other hazard is right here. This is the front of your unit, underneath your awning, where most of your living and enjoying is going to happen. So I want you to be aware that when the furnace is running, the hot air coming out of here can hurt children and pets. It's hot enough that it can burn you and melt stuff. So please don't put anything in front of this opening. It needs to be able to breathe. It needs a certain amount of cubic feet per minute going in and a certain amount of cubic feet per minute of air coming out for it to run properly. So you can't block this off. You need to keep stuff at least 18 inches. I'm going to say 24 inches away from here, because at 18 inches, stuff will get hot and it could melt. But at 24 inches, it doesn't even get warm. When the furnace is running only, this is a hazard. And then the steps and the stairs. So if you pay attention to the steps, stairs, and to the furnace, then nothing else can hurt you. The rest is all just fun and games, okay? This opening right here is where you fill your freshwater holding tank. So you take this cap off, stick a garden hose in there, crank it on, and fill your freshwater holding tank full of water. Underneath your unit, where is it? I gotta find it first. Oh, there it is. Okay, down here, Matt, behind this back wheel, you'll see a white pipe hanging down. There it is. She's got it in your camera. That's the drain for your freshwater tank, okay? 120 volt power on the outside of your unit and the 120 volt power inside your unit. All of these receptacles are protected by the GFCI that's going to be in your bathroom. So if you plug your TV in and it doesn't come on, go into the bathroom and reset the breaker on the receptacle in the bathroom and you'll have power back here again. This is the cover for your refrigerator. Twice a year, I'm going to ask you to take this cover off and just keep it clean. You really don't need to do much else in there. Just keep it clean so that it works good, okay? This is your water heater. Right now, there's a bung in the water heater. So I'm going to presume, let's check. Yep, your water heater's already full of water, okay? It's electric and gas. The electric element is behind this black cover right here, and the switch to turn it on is right down here beside the cover. Can you see it there? Yep. Yeah, little on and off switch. I'm going to leave it in the off position because you need to turn that switch on and then go inside your trailer and turn the electric element option on for it to heat your water with the element. But it takes a lot of power and takes a long time to heat the water with this element. So I'm going to leave it turned off, and I'm going to recommend that you use just the gas feature to heat your water. It heats it much quicker, and it's just a better way to heat it. Doesn't use a lot of power, okay? This is called the black tank flush. This is a direct water line that goes to the opposite side of your poo tank, your black tank. This is so that after you've been using your black tank, that pile of poo that's sitting in there, you can hook a garden hose up to here and run water in the tank to help get that solid material all broken up and all floating back in the water again, up in suspension in the water, so that when you pull the black tank valve now, 95% of all the solid material will come out with it. This connection right here is for the city water. Not sure why. Oh, this isn't city water. This is an outside water source. City water hookup is on the other side, so this is like for an outside hose, so you can have a water hose to wash and wash your boots off and stuff like that. Okay. Pass-through compartment, passenger side. This is our starter kit. Usually it's in a bag, but we ran out of the little giveaway vision bags. So you got some tank treatment in here. Oh, you know
they put 2 in there.
Okay, we're gonna take this one out and we're gonna leave that. We're gonna leave that kit there. You don't need 2 starter kits, Matt.
You don't need 2.
So we'll take all these loose pieces out and just leave the box there for you. That's got all the stuff you need in it to make sure that you can use your trailer right off the bat. I'll take that stuff out. Let's see these extra D's too. All right. Okay. And again, here's that other 30-pound tank. I showed you where the regulator is. So that's about it for the outside. Right now, as you can see, your awning is deployed. When we go inside, I'll show you where the button is to retract that awning and fold it back up against the unit. Okay. Where all the stuff is. All right, Matt. Walking in the front door of your unit, when you first come in, you're going to see a switch here on the side. This is for your slide room. Okay. This is for running that slide room out and in. Right now, these chairs are they're in the way, but we'll go over that when I talk to you about closing up the slide. Okay. So this is the button for opening and closing your slide room. Fire extinguisher, carbon monoxide detector. This is brand new. This has to be changed in 7 years by law, okay? Even if it's still working, you have to change it in 7 years, okay? There's 2 sets of keys here for your front door. I'm gonna leave them there for right now. Up here on the wall here, okay, you got a lighted switch here for ceiling lights inside your unit. And then this switch here is for the awning. There's the awning going out. And now here's the awning coming in. These light switches here are for exterior lights on your unit. The outdoor porch light and also the light at the steps. I'll turn them off. This one we'll leave it on. Okay. Next is this device right here. This is the monitor panel for your unit. So this is where you're going to be able to tell how full your tanks are, your holding tanks, okay? This bottom one is for the battery. So right now we're plugged into shore power, When I push the battery one, I see all 4 lights light up. That's letting you know that you are getting a charging voltage going to your battery from your converter, okay? Then the freshwater tank is a third full. That's what we do for a get ready. After we dewinterize the unit and flush all of the antifreeze out of the water lines, we fill the hot water heater and we put a third of water in your freshwater holding tank for you, so you got water right off the bat. Black tank's empty, gray tank's empty, and galley tank is empty. They use boating terminology in the RV world, so galley is the kitchen. So this galley one, that's going to be the holding tank for your kitchen sink. And then the gray one is going to be the holding tank for your bathroom sink and your bathroom shower. And then, of course, the black tank is for all your poo and your pee to go into. Okay? On here is also 2 switches. You got one for the pump and one for the heater. This one here is for gas only. There is no option for electric, which is good because, like I said, it's just way better and much more economical to heat your water with propane. So to turn the water heater on, is turn that on. As long as the propane bottles are open, the water heater will light itself up and then this light will go out. If that light doesn't go out, it means that the water heater didn't light itself. You have to shut this off, wait 3 or 4 seconds, turn it back on again to reset the cycle for its ignition cycle, okay? And then water pump, turns on water. Oh, tap's open. Let's close the taps. Okay. Oven, stovetop. This top lifts up, folds in half, and then if you lift up on it, push it back and push it down again, that's what locks it in place. So with this lid, don't forget to lift it up first before you pull it forward. If you were to pull it forward right now, it'll bend these locking tabs and it'll wreck that top. It's really hard to fix them once they get buggered up. So don't forget to lift it, then pull it forward and fold it down to cover up your burners, okay? This stove does not have an igniter on it, so you will need a barbecue lighter in order to light your burners and also to light the pilot light for your oven, okay? You'll need a barbecue lighter for that. Okay, exhaust fan here for your range. The buttons are kind of hidden away up in here. So there's the one for the light, and here's the one for the fan. Okay. Microwave doesn't need any explaining. Pretty simple to use that. Moving on, the fridge. The fridge is really quite simple. You have 2 options for running your fridge. One is to run it on automatic, which is where it's set right now. On automatic, it will run on 120 volt power. If the power ever goes away, like if you're an electrical storm and you lose power, the fridge will automatically light itself on propane. When the power is restored and comes back on, it'll shut down the propane and go back to running on electric again. That's the most economical, best way to run your fridge. The other option is to push this out and have it run on gas. Running your fridge on gas, you will use a lot of propane very quickly. So I'm going to recommend that you use the automatic feature. As long as you're plugged into shore power, your fridge runs on 120 volts. If the power ever goes away, it lights on propane. When the power comes back, it shuts the propane off and goes back to using the electric again, okay? That's the most ideal way to use your fridge. Inside your fridge, document packages for your unit, and then the remote controls are in here too for the TV and the stereo, okay? They work, batteries have been changed, everything's good there. In your fridge, there's a data tag here. So if anything ever goes wrong with your fridge, take a picture of this data tag, let us know, and that way we can order parts for it. Okay? I'm going to shut this all off for now. And let's move on to, I don't think this needs a whole lot of explaining either, Matthew. Your stereo system here, TV, you'll figure all that out. Coming up the step, it's your bathroom. And just on the wall here beside Leanne is the controller for your heating and air conditioning. So right now it's turned off. leave the fan on automatic and leave it on high. When you're using the air conditioner, it wants the fan on automatic and high so that it can run as much air as it wants to. To run air conditioner, push up for cool, turn this down to 0, and she'll get cold in here in about 20 minutes, half an hour. It'll be like an ice box. Turn it off to use the furnace. Click it down like that, and then bring your temperature up to a setting that you want. You'll hear the squirrel cage engage. It'll call for propane, kick on the heat, and heat your unit up.
I feel it.
You feel the heat already? Yeah. Okay, we'll shut that off. Turn this back to 0 and leave those right there. That's the best place for them. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward for your heating and air conditioning. Okay. Bathroom, I don't think there's anything special in there. Nope, not a whole lot. Although, I'm going to recommend, Matthew, that you go to an RV dealership at some point when you can and get the MaxxAir vent covers to go over top of this vent. That'll keep all the spiders and flies and pine needles and all that shit off this screen. Plus, it'll also protect you if you happen to be away from your trailer and a little afternoon rainstorm comes through. You'll have a protection over there to keep water out of your unit, okay? I think they're 57 or 60 bucks a piece, and it is something you can install yourself, okay? I'm going to recommend you get those. Close that up. Of course, everything does work. Light switch on the wall. And shower, sink, vanity. That's about it. There's storage underneath your bed, which is pretty much standard in every RV, okay? So you got storage under there. You got a big giant aftermarket mattress on there. And then right up at the headboard, you'll see a little light switch in there. That's for which lights are those for? There's little reading lights inside this cubby. Okay, so here, again, no vent cover. So can you imagine if you had this open and you were down by the lake and then all of a sudden a rainstorm came through in the afternoon and you come back to your trailer and there's a great big wet spot on your bed. That's why I'm going to recommend that you get the vent covers to cover this vent up with, okay? Close that up. Turn off all the lights. I think we're just about done. Oh, carbon monoxide detector in the bedroom. And then there's a smoke detector in the master on the roof in the main living area. And then there's also that liquid propane detector that I showed you when we first come in the door. Okay, I can't think of anything else. I think we got her all covered, buddy. So now that the virtual walkthrough is done, what I'm going to do now is I'll go around, I'll turn off all the lights, so we're not leaving any lights on to kill the battery. I'll close your unit up. I don't know when you're coming to pick it up or if someone's delivering it to you, but what I'm going to do with these keys is I'm going to put them in the freezer compartment of your fridge, okay? That's where they'll be when you get your unit or whoever's bringing it out to you, all right? They're going to be right there. All right. So thank you again, Matthew, for buying a trailer from Vision RV. I appreciate it, and I know that Leanne's grateful too. Help her make her sales quota for the month. But yeah, thanks for buying your unit. I think you're going to enjoy it. You got a really sound unit. It's in really good condition. If you take care of it, man, you should be able to leave it for your kids when you're done with it. Or bring it back and trade it in for a nicer one in a couple of years. I like that idea too. Okay, Matthew, have a great summer. Enjoy your RV and be safe out there, all right? Thank you very much.